Every morning, we wake up with a choice. The choice to believe something about ourselves, the world, and the future. And what we choose to believe, what we say to ourselves, can either build a life of purpose or bury us in quiet defeat. I want to share with you 5 powerful truths. They're not just things to say, they're things to believe, to live by, to repeat until they become part of your identity. Because what you tell yourself becomes you. I am enough. 3 simple words. But in a world wired to convince you otherwise, they are nothing short of revolutionary. From the moment we wake up, we are fed a steady diet of inadequacy. The ads tell us to buy more because we're missing something. The job market tells us we need another degree, another title, another certification. Social media screams that someone, somewhere, is doing life better than we are. It's a constant hum, one that eats away at the core of our self-worth. But what if that hum is lying? What if the whole system is designed not to celebrate our uniqueness, but to exploit our insecurities? We weren't born questioning our worth. We learned it. It was handed to us in subtle cues and loud criticisms. And over time, we internalize the idea that we are only as good as what we produce, how we look, or who approves of us. But you weren't created to be a reflection of someone else's ideal. You weren't made to be a replica, a second-rate version of someone more polished or more palatable. You were made to be real, raw, human, unfiltered. I once spoke with a young woman, valedictorian, Ivy League, already climbing the ladder of success. From the outside, she had it all, but she looked me in the eye and said, "I still feel like I don't belong." That wasn't a whisper. That was a cry. A cry so many of us carry in silence. We feel like we have to do more to deserve space, like our seat at the table is conditional. But that's the lie. The truth is, your worth is not a currency you have to earn. It's not measured in awards or likes or promotions. It was already written into you the moment you arrived. And yet, imposter syndrome is persistent. It claws at us, makes us question the ground we stand on. But the antidote to that voice, the one that says we're not enough, is not perfection, it's permission. Permission to show up as you are. Permission to say, I may not be finished, but I am not fake. I may not be perfect, but I am present. You are not the sum of your achievements or your failures. You are not your job title, your body shape, your relationship status, or your follower count. You are enough because you exist. You are enough because there's no one else on this planet wired exactly like you, with your story, your scars, your spark. And the world doesn't need another copy, it needs you, the real you. So the next time the world tries to shrink you to fit its mold, don't just resist, rebel, take up space, speak with your full voice. Walk into the room like you belong there, because you do. Say it out loud, let it echo. Let it settle in your bones. I am enough. We all stumble. We all crash into walls we didn't see coming. And in those moments, when the air leaves our lungs and the weight of disappointment sets in, we tell ourselves the story that maybe we're not enough, that maybe we weren't cut out for this. But what if the real truth is this? We're exactly where we're supposed to be. What if the fall isn't the end of the story, but the beginning of something greater? Failure has never been the enemy. It only becomes one when we choose to stop moving. You see, failure isn't a verdict, it's feedback. It's life whispering, that path didn't work, try another. The University of Scranton tells us that 92% of people don't reach their New Year's resolutions. That sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it's not a statistic to shame. It's a mirror showing us how common it is to misstep, to overestimate, to fall short. That 92%, it's not about weakness, it's about humanity. The beautiful, messy, trying, again, anyway kind of humanity. Because the ones who go the distance aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall 7 times and get up 8. The ones who hear the voice in their head saying, that was a disaster, and choose to respond, maybe, but I get to try again. That one sentence, I get to try again, isn't just a mindset, it's a lifeline, it's power reclaimed. It's grace in motion. Every day you wake up is a second chance, a new page, a blank slate not demanding perfection but inviting persistence. And when you start seeing failure not as a dead end but as a detour, your entire world shifts. You stop avoiding mistakes and start harvesting wisdom. You stop clinging to certainty and start dancing with curiosity. Think of a child learning to walk. How many times do they fall? Dozens, hundreds, and never once do we say, well, walking just isn't for them. We cheer them on every wobbly, unbalanced step. Why? Because we know falling is part of walking. Why do we forget that when it comes to ourselves, there is no shame in trying and failing? The only real loss is in not trying again. When we say, I get to try again, we're claiming agency, we're acknowledging the pain but not surrendering to it. We're staring failure in the face and saying, you don't get the final word. So breathe in that truth, let it anchor you. Let it remind you that your next step matters more than your last one. The story isn't over. The page isn't done. The ink is still wet. You get to try again, and that, my friend, is everything. There's a moment in all of our lives when we wonder if we truly matter. When the noise of the world convinces us that our value is measured by how many followers we have, how big our bank account is, or how loud our voice echoes in a crowd. But I want you to pause for just a second and ask yourself this: what if my worth isn't in what I have, but in what I give? The truth is, we've been sold a lie that only the powerful can make a difference, that only the famous can lead, and that only those at the top are the ones who matter. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The people who shape lives, who shift the world in meaningful ways, often do it without applause. They don't need a stage. Sometimes all they carry is a mop, a smile, or a word of encouragement. I think about Carlos. He wasn't a CEO, he wasn't a teacher, he was the janitor at my high school, but what he gave me, I carry with me to this day. Every morning, as I walked into school, drowning in my own insecurities, wondering if I'd ever be enough, Carlos looked me in the eye and said, "You're going to do great things, kid." He didn't say it for show. He didn't have to. He believed it, and that belief, it changed the entire course of my life. Because in the moment when I had nothing, Carlos gave me belief. When I had no direction, he gave me hope. That's the power of contribution. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the intention behind the smallest act. You don't have to change the world. For everyone, just one person, one moment. That's all it takes. We get caught up thinking we need to be extraordinary. But maybe extraordinary isn't about being more than others. Maybe it's about giving more of yourself to others. Think about the last time someone held the door for you when your hands were full. Or when someone called just to check in, no agenda, no ask, just care. These moments may seem small, but they echo. They stick with us. They shape the story we tell ourselves about who we are. And when we choose to show up with kindness, when we decide to give a smile, a word, our time, we become part of someone else's story, someone else's turning point. You have something to give, even if you don't see it yet. Especially if you don't see it yet. Your presence, your kindness, your belief in someone else, it matters. You are not invisible. You are not insignificant. You are someone's Carlos. You don't need permission to give. You just need to believe that you can, because you already have everything you need. Just remember, I have something to give. Say it, feel it, live it, and watch what happens when you do. I don't have to have it all figured out. That sentence alone has the power to silence the storm in your mind. It's not an excuse. It's not resignation. It's a reminder, a powerful truth in a world that's obsessed with the illusion of certainty and speed. We live in a time where every scroll tells us who we should be, where we should be, and how fast we should get there. Social media has become the scoreboard of our self-worth. It tells us that if we haven't launched our dream business, married the perfect person, or bought a house by 30, we are falling behind. But falling behind who? Falling behind what? The truth is, life isn't a race. It's not a straight line in progress. Real, meaningful, lasting progress doesn't always show up with fireworks and applause. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. And sometimes it looks like nothing is happening at all. But that doesn't mean you're not growing. Think about the bamboo tree. For 5 long years, it shows no visible growth. Nothing breaks the surface. If you walked by it day after day, you'd think it was dead. But under the soil, it's working. It's building roots, deep, strong, resilient roots that can support what's coming. And then in just 6 weeks, it shoots up 90 feet. Not because it grew overnight, but because it prepared. That's what so many of us forget. We measure our lives in comparison to someone else's highlight reel. We chase quick wins. We crave validation. But the truth is, the moments where we feel lost, stuck, or unsure, those are often the moments where the most powerful transformation is happening. It's in the waiting, the uncertainty, the in-between, that we lay the foundation for everything that will come next. Saying, "I don't have to have it all figured out," is not weakness, it's strength. It means we're brave enough to keep showing up even when we don't have the answers. It means we're willing to trust the process, even when we can't see the results. And it means we believe that our journey is unfolding exactly the way it's meant to, not faster, not slower, just right. Because growth doesn't happen on your timeline, it happens on the right one. And when you look back, you won't remember the rush. You'll remember the moments where you learned to breathe through the doubt, where you chose patience over panic, where you trusted the roots even when the tree hadn't broken ground. So keep going, keep building, keep believing, even if it doesn't look like much right now. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are becoming. We live in a world that glorifies the grind of tomorrow. We're told to chase the next goal, the next win, the next version of ourselves. At the same time, many of us are shackled to yesterday, its mistakes, its pain, its what-ifs. But in this relentless tug-of-war between what's ahead and what's behind, we lose the only thing we ever really have right now, this moment, today. And if we're honest, most of us don't even notice it's slipping away. There's a reason the present is called a gift. It's all we've got, and yet we treat it like a stepping stone, something to rush through, something that only exists to get us somewhere else. We say things like, "When I finally get that job," or "Once this phase of life is over," or "If only I had made a different decision back then." But here's the truth: the job may come, the phase will pass, the decisions are already made, but today is still in your hands. It's still yours to shape, to experience, to honor. We've all heard the proverb, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now." What it's really saying is that you don't need to wait for the perfect circumstances to begin. You don't need a roadmap to start. You don't need permission from your past to matter today. You need presence. You need to show up fully, honestly, courageously, because how you show up today determines who you become tomorrow. And presence isn't just a feel-good concept, it's a practice, a discipline. It's looking someone in the eye and actually listening. It's putting your phone down when your child says, "Look at this." It's choosing to respond instead of react. It's saying, "I'm here," even when you're tempted to be somewhere else, in your mind, in your plans, in your fears. Presence is power. It's the rarest form of generosity, and we all have the ability to give it. What you do today, what you think, how you act, who you love, how you choose to engage with the world, it matters. Not in some grand philosophical sense, but in the most intimate human way, because someone is watching. Someone is listening. Someone is being shaped by your presence, by your kindness, your patience, your consistency. The small things, they are the big things: a smile, a thank you, a pause before judgment, a moment of silence when you could have filled it with noise. These choices, they define the tone of your life. We often talk about legacy like it's something we leave behind, but the truth is we're building it every single day. It's in how we treat the barista who gets our name wrong. It's in the email we choose to rewrite before hitting send. It's in the apology we offer without defending ourselves. These are the brushstrokes of our character. And they only happen now, not later, not someday, now. There's a story I once heard about a man who went on a walk with his young daughter. As they strolled down the path, she bent down to pick up a small wildflower. He barely noticed, too caught up in his thoughts about work and life and all the things he hadn't done yet. Later, she pressed that same flower into a book and said, "This is from the best day ever," and it hit him. He almost missed it. Not because he didn't love her, but because he wasn't fully there. How many best days do we miss because we're not paying attention? We wait for milestones to give us meaning, birthdays, promotions, anniversaries. But the days that truly shape us are ordinary. They're Wednesdays, they're rainy afternoons. They're the commute, the dinner table, the quiet moments when no one is watching. These are the days that require us to be intentional, to remember that presence is a decision we make over and over again. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose to be here, not perfect, not prepared, just here. Steve Jobs once said, "If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today?" And if the answer was no, too many days in a row, he changed something. That's not about being dramatic, that's about being honest, because the clock is always ticking, whether we acknowledge it or not. And every day we ignore that truth is a day we give away, not to the people we love, not to the things that matter, but to distractions, to fears, to autopilot. You don't need a wake-up call to wake up. You don't need a near-death experience to start living. You need awareness, you need courage, you need to look at the life you're living and ask, am I really present for it? Are you showing up to your own story? Or are you just rehearsing a script someone else handed you? Because the danger isn't failure. The danger is numbness, disconnection, drifting through life without ever touching its depth. Tell yourself, today matters. Say it again, not as a slogan, but as a promise. Because today isn't a rehearsal. It's not a trial run. It's the real thing. And no, you don't have to conquer the world today. You don't have to fix everything, but you do have to care. You have to care enough to slow down, to look up, to breathe, to love, to listen, to try. We often ask, what's the meaning of life? But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the better question is, what meaning will I give to today? Because meaning isn't something you find, it's something you create. Through presence, through purpose, through people, and you get to choose that. Every single day, the most beautiful moments in life don't come from planning. They come from being present enough to notice them when they arrive. So show up, not just for the people who need you, but for yourself. Your dreams, your peace, your values. Today is not just another box on the calendar. It's a chance, a choice, a spark. Don't waste it wishing for yesterday. Don't numb it chasing tomorrow. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're not too busy. You're right on time, and you are exactly where you need to be to start something extraordinary. So plant the seed, make the call, take the walk, say the words. Whatever it is that your heart has been whispering, do it. Not later, not someday. Do it today, because today matters. So if you remember nothing else, remember this. Your words shape your world. The stories you repeat to yourself become the stories you live. So choose them wisely, say them often, believe them deeply. I am enough. I get to try again. I have something to give. I don't have to have it all figured out. Today matters. These are more than affirmations. They are anchors, and when the winds of life shake you, these anchors will hold. So tomorrow morning, when the world tells you who you should be, you remind it who you are.